Hello and welcome to another episode of the Digital Prosperity Podcast with me, Andy Gibbins, and
Leanne Mordue.
Leanne Mordue, yeah. Another new face in the hot seat.
Well, I'm delighted to be here, Andy.
Absolutely. It's taken you a while to get to...
Well, I'm a busy woman. You've got to get in line.
I know. Leanne is one of the founders of JDR. She's one of the directors here as well. Big topic of discussion today is change. Leanne has been through everything in business, I would say, from starting out, building a team, external factors. We've had recessions, Brexit, COVID. There's so many other things that we could talk about. But our focus on change today is how the growth of technology has affected the way that we do business today, ultimately. So, as always with this, dive straight in.
Yeah.
There's no beating around. Obviously, you've been in business a long time during the JDR journey. One of the directors, founding members. Been here since 2004, I think we started, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah, 2004. So
Tell us what it was like back then.
anyone in business for 20 years, first of all, would have gone through a lot of change.
Yes.
And in that period, there has been significant change. 2004 to now, there has been a lot gone on with the introduction of social media, emails, YouTube, and more recently now AI and things to come. But picture a world back in 2004 where we had dial-up internet, no broadband. We had one computer, which didn't really have much on it because we did everything on paper.
Yeah.
Fax machine on the desk. Nobody sent emails.
No.
You can't think of running a business now without email.
Yeah.
But that's how it was. We used to unplug our telephone at lunchtime to plug our computer in to the dial-up internet because it used the same line, and download emails that we thought we might have. And there was never more than 4 a day or something like that. But that's what it was like. The marketing landscape where people generated their leads from predominantly was a big yellow book called the Yellow Pages, which a lot of our listeners will remember very
Absolutely. If you go back even further, it's a bit before your time, but we also had the engineering companies will know this. They had something called the Kelly's book.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Which was literally, if you thought the Yellow Pages was big, the Kelly's book was huge. And I've seen one before. They were really, really big. And that's how it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, so much so that business owners used to name their businesses AAA Plumbing so that they'd get a top listing in the Yellow Pages, because that was the equivalent back then of getting the top spot in Google. So it really was the driving force. And if anybody needed anything, you didn't just, what do we do now? We go to Google. There wasn't that. You'd go to your shelf, you'd get your Yellow Pages, and you would go, right, I need my nails doing. Let me find a nail company. And if you weren't in the Yellow Pages, you weren't going to be found. And that was the driver of leads for businesses back then. Of course, when we were talking to companies back then about, at the time we were offering business coaching and helping companies grow, going in and working with them in their finances, with their teams, with their marketing, with their sales, all encompassing. On the marketing side, where we were focusing was on creating better Yellow Pages ads and getting those ads to convert better, and direct mail strategies and things like that. So it's suffice to say we've had to change a lot.
Just a little bit, I remember
with those businesses as well.
Wasn't it with Yellow Pages where statistically people got more conversions if it was on the right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it was so there was more money, wasn't it?
Yes, and of course the ads costed more. So we had clients who were paying 10, 20, 30 grand a year to Yellow Pages to get the best retail spot on the big square half-page top right Yellow Pages ad. But fast forward 20 years, it's not that long a time, but you can feel and you can see the dramatic change that we've we've been through over that time.
What would you say the biggest changes are then when it comes to business, technology? Like, what are the biggest changes that you've seen?
Well, I think the internet has changed the business landscape the most, because, I mean, I can remember talking to business owners back in between 2004, 2008, when we started offering websites. And we started talking to business owners about the internet and getting a presence on the internet because it was coming. And we, you'd always get the early adopters, but we used to hear business owners say, "Oh no, that's not for me. My customers won't use the internet. They won't be going on all of that stuff. They like to come in. They like to talk to me. This is how we do business." And that's, fair enough. But then social media came, and we, we're having the same discussions. And I mean, I remember Facebook and a lot of people saying, "Oh, that's just for teenagers. That stuff, that's not for business. That'll never be a part of business." And we could see it coming. We could see that the early adopters and the businesses who were, advertising on Facebook back in the day were making money from it and were getting exposure. And it was a part of the business growth that we saw in the marketing landscape to come. And now you talk to teenagers and you talk about Facebook and they say, "Oh, that's for old people."
Absolutely. Even WhatsApp apparently is for old people.
Wow.
Yeah. I thought my 16-year-old is informed me that doesn't use WhatsApp, and no one uses WhatsApp anymore.
But who would have thought that text messaging would be a part of running your business now?
I know.
And in some industries, it's expected. If you're not texting me reminders and you're not sending me WhatsApps and you're not, then you're not relevant.
Absolutely. That was we used to have the junk mail, the flyers that people would send, the direct mail. Then it became email. I remember the days when, you were excited to receive an email.
Yes.
There's not like that anymore. I've got one in my inbox. But yeah, those times of
fax machine is in the back of a cupboard somewhere now.
Absolutely. Although I always remember when one of my first roles at JDR was I used to have to fax Will his appointments for the next day. I could have just written an email. Obviously, we didn't have a computer, so it was my job at the end of the day, fax all of the information.
They used to make a terrible noise as well.
Oh yeah.
The fax was coming through.
That was it.
Hard times have changed. But with change, there can be a lot of hesitation and fear, because you've always done things in a certain way. And so I think there is the sense of, well, we this is the way we do things. We've always done them this way, and it's worked for us, and it's going to continue to work for us. But that's limited thinking. With technology coming in at the rate at which it's coming in now, if we look at AI, if you have that attitude about AI now, you will quickly fall behind.
Yeah.
So we don't know I can't predict where that's going. But what we can see is that ChatGPT came on the scene, was it a year, maybe 2 years ago?
2 years, yeah.
Okay. And since then, there's just a whole peripheral, that's not the right word.
No, I know. I know the word. I know the word you're looking for. We're going to keep that in.
So ChatGPT comes out, and then you've got just a wave. That's the word. Just a wave of all these other tools that are coming. That's not the end of it. When Facebook came out, who would have thought there would be all these other social media platforms on the scene? So it's just the beginning now. And I'm hoping that there is more open-mindedness about it in the business world, because we've been through all of those different phases, and eventually even the people who are holding on have had to commit. They've had to change.
Yeah.
And some didn't change quick enough, and therefore weren't relevant and aren't here today. And if you want to be relevant and you want to have a business in the future, you've got to be open to change, Andy. That's the real point I'm making, because it doesn't go away. You're in business. You're expecting it to change. You should expect change.
Yeah.
Because that's the world we live in.
And that's ultimately the impact of change, isn't it? It's you have to adapt with technology, with time, with everything that changes. As you know, and it's not just technology changes, like we talked about at the beginning, all the external factors that a business has to deal with. Technology is overwhelming, and quite often it's the fear of the unknown, isn't it? We don't know what it is. So I guess what I'm asking is that what advice would you give to business owners then on all of the new technologies that are coming out now?
Well, I think you've got to remain open-minded.
Yeah.
You don't have to be bullied into anything. You don't have to jump before you're ready. But I think you should certainly research, and there's enough tools today to be able to do that, right? So do your research. Look if there's an opportunity for you in new technology. I mean, CRM, let's just talk about CRMs for a minute. CRMs, we're still coming across fairly large organizations who don't have a CRM. Still keeping data in silos, still using spreadsheets to keep things. Departments are working independently. There's no integration between things. And if I look at organizations that run in that way, and sure, it works for them, but then I look at when we do a CRM implementation and the impact that has on every single individual in that business, and the processes and the way in which business can flow so much easier. When you look at the two, because we've got the opportunity to do that. You know, some businesses, they're just doing what they need to do to get through the day, and they don't get to see that. Yes, when you see that and you can see the power of that and the way that it transforms businesses, efficiency-wise, profitability-wise, you name it. When things are seamless and when you're able to access things quickly and get to the information you need with a touch of a button, and you're able to share it with somebody else who needs it, and they're not having to wait for it. All of those things, the impact that has on a business is huge.
Yes.
But if you're just doing things the way you've always done things, you don't know that there could be a better way.
Is there a better way? Yeah.
So I guess my point there is just be open, look at it. If someone else is doing something and talking about how great it is and what it's done for them, have a listen. It can't hurt to listen. Just be open-minded, have a look. Look into other things, talk to people, talk to experts about what it could bring to your business. And just be open.
Yeah. Is that how you and JDR have adapted to those changes?
Always. Yeah, always. We've always had a vision to be at the forefront of technology. It's part of our mission and part of what we bring to our clients. You know, whether it was the very first CMS websites we were offering to people, early SEO and search engine rankings back in 2008, social media optimization and programs and posting when we were pushing water uphill at that stage with businesses, because it was so early in the
it wasn't it?
landscape. You know, and with CRM, when we joined HubSpot in 2012, and we implemented a CRM in our business and saw that transformation for ourselves. And it's almost the passion for wanting to help businesses that comes through from our business coaching days. That, wow, look at what we can do with this for ourselves. We need to talk to other businesses about this, because it's going to help them. It's going to help them generate leads and organize their business properly and create more sales, and so that they can grow. And I guess that's important too, because we've always adopted things ourselves first and tested them and got them to work before taking that offering to the marketplace. And so with our CRM and our HubSpot, and we're elite partners now, as a lot of people will already know if they've listened to any of our webinars that you put on a monthly basis, or if they've looked at our website or anything like that. So we've demonstrated the top of the tree level of excellence in service and and implementation on the HubSpot side of things. But we did that first for ourselves, saw the power of that, and then we just had to offer it to other people.
Absolutely.
And that's how we've always approached things.
We had to kiss a few frogs first, though, didn't we? HubSpot was not the first CRM that we used and tried and tested.
No, it certainly wasn't.
I've used lots.
Yeah, Infusionsoft was our, I think was our second. Sugar was our first.
Yeah.
But it didn't do much. That was just holding our data, I think, at the time. But that was amazing. I could see the people you were talking to, and you could see the people I was talking to. And then Infusionsoft was our first introduction to automation. It's now called Keep.
Keep, yeah.
I still have my original account.
Do you?
Yes.
Still got the logins?
Yeah,
for it?
Still got it. I still have some historical campaigns and workflows and things set up in there. I actually really enjoyed working with Infusionsoft.
Yeah, it was a good platform.
I did become certified, and I was helping people at the time set it up because it was known as Confusionsoft.
Confusionsoft,
with it being very difficult to work. But a lot's changed in the CRM market as well. And HubSpot was the very first all-in-one. Okay, the marketing tools came out first, super powerful, and we started using them. But the real power behind HubSpot is the ability to have everything all in one place. So you have 360 reporting. You can see from what comes in from marketing, what turns into sales, and then how the service team are looking after them.
Yeah.
And you can see that 360-degree journey of your clients. And of course, data-based decision-making is the best way you can go. When you can see what's working, what's not working, and you can actually make a decision based on, I'm going to do more of that because that's actually more profitable. It's so much more powerful than, I don't know, speaking to different departments and gauging opinions and trying to figure things out by way of trial and error. So CRMs, the introduction of CRMs for us has been extraordinary.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And obviously we work very closely with HubSpot, so naturally we're going to recommend HubSpot. To those that don't have it, or to those that have heard of it, because I speak to lots of business owners every day, and most people now, I would say, have heard of HubSpot, but not everyone knows what it is. So my question to you, I guess, is why do we at JDR recommend it as a platform, HubSpot?
Wow. Okay. So
Big question, I know.
Yes. But there's so many reasons, and also it's not one size fits all, right? So HubSpot has it has different hubs. So you've got the marketing hub, you've got the sales hub, you've got the content hub, and you've got the service hub. Let's say those are the main hubs. There are others, but those are the main hubs. And each of those hubs focuses on different things. Okay. So if a organization is looking to implement something to boost their marketing efforts, or to bring marketing reporting in to one place, or to understand what's happening with their marketing, then we'd recommend Marketing Hub, because that hub has tools like the social media scheduling tool, the email broadcast tool, the email workflow nurturing follow-up tool, and things like that. So you're looking at all of the upfront ability to push a message out and get it in front of people on the marketing side. Content Hub is a great new addition. So it's the newest hub from HubSpot, which you can actually build your website in a drag and drop, super easy way, very optimized for search, really fast load speeds. Like, the technology behind it, they've invested a lot of money, and it is really, really good.
Yeah.
But then in addition to that, you've got all the AI tools that are there as well. So the ability to produce content topic suggestions via keywords you're trying to rank for, and then have the tool actually write the copy and the content for you. in your brand voice, in your brand tone, and produce it as a blog article for you with images and everything ready to go. And you can do that in less than 5 minutes with the technology. But why stop there? You can use the Remix tool to change that article into a podcast, into a video, into an audio file, into 5 social posts for all the different platforms. And again, you can do that within seconds in the tool. So if content is your thing, Content Hub is what we would recommend. The sales side really helps salespeople get the intelligence they need from what they're doing. You use it a lot. Yes.
It allows me to, simply put, just make better decisions with my time.
Yeah.
Because I know I get notified when my leads visit our website.
Yeah.
I get notified when they open my emails, when they click on links I've sent them, when they're interacting with you. CRMs traditionally were always like, CRM was only ever as good as the person that used it.
Yeah.
Because it was about you logging all of your interactions with clients, prospects, etc.
Yeah.
The benefit of HubSpot is it's two-way. Is not only do you still have to, you log all your interactions, but it logs their interactions with you. Whereas before you didn't know that at all. For me, that's the biggest impact that a platform like HubSpot has.
Yeah. Yeah. And really, what's the most important thing to you in a day is your time.
Yeah.
So if you're saving time, and also because you've got the intelligence of, oh, that person's clicked on my quote now, so I know they're reading it, might be a good time to call them. You're also able to get to your warm leads when they're at their warmest.
Yes.
So to start the conversation, and when you can have a conversation with someone knowing that they visited the pricing page and that they've opened your brochure and that they've spent 20 minutes on that page that explains what you're about to talk about. If you can go into a conversation already knowing that, you can have a much more intelligent conversation with them.
Absolutely.
Rather than having to ask all the questions. And again, it's time saving. So the sales tools are really powerful as well. But it's about leverage. Technology is about leveraging time. And when we're looking at AI now, and the way it's leveraging time throughout the company, I mean, there's still a long way to go. You know, that we're still not jumping 2 feet into AI right now. But the way it's advanced in just a year, we can only guess where it's going to be in a year's time.
Yeah.
And I think the key is as well that you shouldn't wait until it's taken off and it's there and everybody's using it, because then it's almost a scramble. For us, our strategy has always been get in early, learn it, figure out what works, figure out what doesn't work. But that's because we're in this industry, right?
Yes.
The benefit to our clients is that they don't have to do that. They don't have the time to do that. I mean, who's got the time to sit and play with AI tools?
Yeah.
And compare Gemini to ChatGPT and some of the others that are out there. Like, you don't have the time, but that's our thing. That's what we do. So the benefit to our clients is that we can bring that insight to them and we can shortcut that.
Yeah.
And we can give them what works.
Absolutely. And, you know, we've been doing that for 21 years now.
Yep.
What do you think the next 21 years are going to look like?
Oh, gosh, Andy.
I know.
We're on the cusp of some big change at the minute.
Yeah.
You know, it's... I was speaking to Dave and he was saying it feels like, he's a bit older than me.
Yeah.
Okay, so he was saying it feels like when the internet first came about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we all know how that's gone over the course of 20 odd years. So I'm really excited.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that there's a mixture out there of excitement and fear, and I suppose it depends what you read and what you listen to. But you know, my go-to is always just stay open.
Mm-hmm.
You know, get as many different sides of the story as you can. You know, speak to as many different people as you can. Get the information; it's there. And and you make the right decisions for you. You make the right decisions for your business. And
Yes.
and we're lucky here because we've got a lot of young people they've been brought up with this technology.
Yeah.
They're scrambling to test these tools and learn and put together what's the best for what, and it's really good to see.
Yeah.
For us, that's really going to push our business forward as well.
Yeah, it doesn't just rely, I think that's what's good about this business, is it doesn't rely on the people at the top to do everything. We are an open book authors, and we're embracing of all new technologies. So no, it's good to see. So as always with this, and I think I know the answer to this already, but I'm going to ask you anyway. But with my podcast, what I always get people to do is I have a silver bullet feature. So this is just one takeaway that you would give a business owner now. And what we've talked about today, one thing that they can implement, what would that be?
Well, I would say if you haven't got a CRM,
Yeah.
you should think about getting a CRM.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing I'd say is don't be scared of AI because it's not going away. It's not one of those things you can go, oh, my customers won't use this. My customers won't. It's changing the way that the search landscape is changing the way we're seeing already people using Google in a different way. Okay. So, we've got just Google it. In a few years' time, it could be just something else.
Yeah.
And we've got to be aware of that because there's businesses out there now getting a lot of leads from the internet, from Google, and from what they're currently doing now. And that's going to change.
Yes.
So I would say don't be afraid of it. Don't hide away from it. Just with everything else as well, just AI is a hot topic, but it is something that you should be aware of and you should be looking at and you should be thinking about and the benefits of it in business as well, the efficiencies it can bring, that type of thing. I think those two things. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Well, I asked for one, I got two, so there's extra bonus for everyone there. So that's really good. We could go into so much more detail on this.
Yeah.
But I'm conscious a little bit of time, and I think that what I want to do is I think that we can go into so much more stuff. So I want to have you back for another episode soon.
Hey, Andy, you got to get in line.
But yeah.
I'd be happy to come back.
But yeah, your diary is quite busy. So hopefully before the end of this year. But thanks so much for coming on.
Brilliant.
Next month's podcast, I'm going to be keeping with the theme of technology and change and going into HubSpot. We're going to be talking about marketing automation. I'll have another new guest, not Leanne. Another new face in front of the camera. So, but thanks everybody for listening today, and I'll see you next time. Thanks very much.
Bye.